Broad Street.
I do like that ending part where they both run into the locker room winners screaming. That is my favorite part. Welcome to the Fly Eagles Fly podcast. I'm Mike O.
I'm Eddie Black. How you doing?
We're getting into the 4-0 recap of the Eagles beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hell of a game. What else can you say?
Yeah. What I seen from the Eagles today is every team has to learn, if they're going to be a good NFL team, to learn to play from behind, and the Eagles did that today. Very good execution and adjustments from the coaching staff after being down 14-0.
I'll definitely say more adjustments than execution, but overall, we were the better team. Everybody thought we were the better team, but all of a sudden, I love how the narrative changed where people thought that Jacksonville had a chance, so it wasn't a trap game. I don't think it was hard for this team to get psychologically up for it. I was impressed with the adversity overall and how they overcame it because, look, you're going to have deflection pick sixes. You're going to have messy games. You're going to have downpour games like this. And what do they always say in the NFL? You got to be able to win different ways. And we've been throwing the ball all over the place. It's not the type of weather for that type of game. And Miles Sanders had a hell of a game. And we overcame injury with Slay going out and Mailata going out, able to pull it off. Just a lot to be excited about.
I also thought early in the game they still wanted to throw it all over the place, and you can't do that in that kind of game, like you said. There's too bad conditions. Yeah.
I thought AJ had some great catches in the beginning, but I like how they did switch it because, honestly, it did seem like the rain started coming down harder during the game. So, when it was raining lighter, they were throwing it more, and then when it was just downpour, and to be honest, the downpour led to us being able to get back in the game because Lawrence had that fumble when he was running the ball that really just slipped out of his hands. It's not like he was really hit. He was just running with it, and it fell out.
I also thought our offensive line took over the game. We were just getting pushed. Miles Sanders was averaging 5-6 yards every play.
And just Stoutland proves week in, week out, he is the number one line coach in the league, bar none. We are as deep as they come. We lost Mailata and we lost our guard. Opta, I don't even know how you pronounce that. I thought he played great. And I thought it was almost strategic where he came in and that touchdown he had the key block that led to the touchdown for Miles Sanders.
That just shows the depth on this offensive line.
But it was almost strategic too. They don't think we're going to do this, kind of trick them a little bit.
Yeah, we have a new lineman coming in the game. We're not going to do this, and we're still going to do this.
Right, exactly.
We're going to impose our will, and that's what we did.
Because I'm sure the defensive line is thinking, maybe the scheme to try and go after him. Anytime a new player goes in, you figure out ways to try to attack that player because he might not be
as good as the starter. And
he might not be into the flow of the game as well. But it's just a testament to Stoutland up and down that how good he is and how deep we are. I thought Cam Jurgens was going to come in, and he didn't even come in,
I thought he would. I think he's the best offensive lineman on the bench, but they see the offensive lineman every day and they make the decisions. But he's going to be a good player when he gets his chance.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson was great. I thought the line really took over, and all you have to do is look at the running game. I mean, this just wasn't a game that lent itself to throwing the ball all over the place. And Miles Sanders has a career day, so unbelievable. Not unbelievable, actually. This is a game that the Eagles. You look on the schedule in the beginning and you think the Eagles steamroll the team, but I'm actually giving huge prep. You can see I got my Philly special shirt on today because it was Dougie P week, you know, and I give the guy all the props in the world. He's light years better than Urban Meyer. He's a legitimate NFL coach, which what Jacksonville deserves with Trevor Lawrence. And you just don't want to see really good talents get wasted. And it's good to see that Lawrence isn't going to be wasted in Jacksonville with Doug Peterson. And I think there's a lot to be hopeful for that franchise.
I agree, and he's going to live up to what he was going to be. It was raining today, he threw interceptions, fumbled, but this season's going to prove why he was the number one pick.
Yeah, I think that they have a serious chance to win the division, and this is a game where, honestly, you're on the road against a good team, and we got after you, and it was a mess of a game. But I got to say, on the other side, the defense was really impressive today, and Reddick had his breakout game.
Yes. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He was the reason some of them turnovers happened. And this team is turning the ball over. This defense is turning the ball over. And that's how you win football games, the NFL, turnover margin. And they've done it.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about the recap, too, is just like no panic. We get the deflection against this interception that we don't even stop them. It's a pick six. And then they go up 14-0. I never sensed for a minute that the team was like, oh, no, or any kind of – and that's what good teams do. They weather the storm. And literally, it was a storm outside today. But, they weathered it, and they wore the other team down because they were legitimately more talented.
Sometimes you're going to take the other team's best punch in a game and – see how you react to that. And the Eagles this season has been a pleasure to watch them, just play in the NFL, play football, and just their execution has been so good throughout the season. It's just a joy to watch.
Yeah, it has been because they have they have so much talent, and there's still a couple of those players that are left over from the Super Bowl year that that they're going to keep everybody else in line. I mean, how are you not going to listen to a Lane Johnson, to a Kelsey, to a Cox, to a Brandon Graham? I mean, that's such a good core that's still with this team, and you see how we're still winning the right way with physically imposing, and it's a joy for everyone who's there. So, I mean, suck it up. Enjoy the moment, Eagles fans, because you've watched enough to know that these seasons don't come around all the time. And it's a testament that it's this week with Doug Peterson, because, honestly, 5 years ago, I thought we were going to have a dynasty with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, we were going to be good for 10 years. I thought Carson Wentz was going to be our quarterback for 10 years. I thought Doug Peterson was going to be our coach for 10 years, 8 to 10 years, and they were really going to be able to have a competitive roster year in, year out. And none of that happened.
The exact opposite.
And
drafted Carson's replacement in the second round.
Yeah, and just to see how everything fell apart, and you really didn't know how the franchise was going to react, and then how it has reacted. It could not have worked out better for us. The Carson Wentz trade could not have worked out better for us. It's just unbelievable where we are right now and how Hurts has improved and really taken the level up. And to the point now, I'm going to call it, it's the season of Batman. They're calling new Batmans every week, and we'll get into that on the next, the segment down the line. But, man, it's a great time to be an Eagles fan. We're 4-0, and to this point, we're going to Arizona next week, but
Zach Ertz week.
It is Zach Ertz week. But you know what I'm saying? Even if we lose, and of course you want to win every game, but even if you lose against Arizona, because I do see that as a problem, because you're on the road, and it's the first time the Eagles went far on the road. It's across the country on the road.
I'm hoping that the Cardinals beat the Panthers.
Right. Because if they lose, their season's over if they lose to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So it's the desperation, and a lot of times the more desperate team wins. So we'll see what the Cardinals do, but I couldn't be more proud of the team. I couldn't be more proud of the coach and the quarterback and just how we're playing.
I couldn't be more proud of the Eagles fan, like you said. Like, they are doing everything they've set out to do when the beginning of the season has happened. 4-0. Jalen Hurts is looking like a franchise quarterback, which I didn't believe in at first. So I got to give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah, you don't know because it's being able to have the anticipation and reading defenses that I think is the hardest aspect for a quarterback to be able to master in the NFL.
He needed more time. Yeah, obviously it's showing that another year has passed. He has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. These are all pro weapons.
Right,
So.
It's true. And everybody said they knew if you couldn't make this work, then it's not the other players. It's you. And
You're the problem.
So, to his credit, he's been the guy. And, I mean, he says it best we're the thermostat, we're not the thermometer. We set the temperature. We don't take the temperature. And when we got that penalty on Goddard that took away the touchdown pass, he still gets it in on that scramble, and that's one of the things that the players look to him, and he's the leader, and it's like, let's go. It makes everybody play hard.
He's becoming a great leader because, remember, if you're not producing, being a leader, the team isn't going to listen because you're not producing offensively.
Yeah, you can only lead if you're leading in production. So
if you're Mike McMahon or like some terrible player, it doesn't matter what you say because no one's going to listen to you.
Right. So, but let's get into some of these segments. So we got the game ball or the Batman of the week, as now we're calling it. So who's your Batman of the week?
Hassan Reddick. Yeah. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Was great today. The defensive line produced pressure, but we signed him as a key free agent to make the D-line better, and he produced like an all-pro.
Give me that ball.
Whoa, I missed
it. Jim put it right there.
That was a little high.
And you missed it. Yeah. Give me the ball.
That's why you go live. Yeah. We'll do it live. Yeah. Oh, Bill O'Reilly, shout out. I'm giving it to Hassan Reddick, and I just have to mention this as well because this was a huge thing. When you have good both sides of the football, complementary football, you go for it more. You take more risks.
Yeah.
And the Eagles went for it, did not get it, and then what happened? Hassan Reddick strips the ball the next play to get the ball back to the Eagles, and that salted away the game. So that's the kind of risks you can take when you have
belief in your players
and like guys who could really be game changing on both sides of the ball. So I completely understand Hassan Reddick, but I had to go Miles Sanders. Why? Career high 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for another 22 yards. The man was everything we needed him to be in a game that was essential. Because guess what? You're not going to be able to throw the ball all the time. You got to be able to tote the rock when the weather's bad. 3-point touch.
Didn't fumble.
Didn't fumble. And unbelievable to see him because that's the thing. He's been having workman type games, 85 yards, 90 yards, but it's when you break that 100-yard barrier, and he broke it heavy with a 135 today, that people start to take notice. And
it's like he's playing on the last year of a contract. He needs that contract year. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. You can't key on the running game because then the passing game will get you. You can't key on the passing. You gotta make the other team defend every blade of grass and be able to do the things that they need to do. And then it goes back to the line. The offensive line blocks well. Kelsey had a great game. I thought they ran well. And Miles Sanders, hell of a game.
Hell of a game. And he's playing for his next contract. So that's why you're getting his best effort.
He is. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. I think that I'm hoping that the players on this team, because everybody wants to get paid, but it doesn't work if the one guy gets paid the most and we can't afford to get other guys. There's such a harmony in wanting everyone to get paid, but then also being able to keep everybody. What's good is that we have A.J. Brown, who's been one of the most talented people I've ever seen in an Eagles uniform in a long time. I mean, say what you will about T.O. when he was here, but A.J. Brown has way better moves than T.O. Like, A.J. Brown can just fake people out in ways that, like a guy his size shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, he's elusive for
A
being
guy
so
his
big.
size. Yeah, a guy his size. I mean, he's really a special athlete. And the things we've been able to see him do, it reminds me of just watching truly elite
Wide receive play.
Or just truly elite athletic experience, like watching it and be like, wow, like when Allen Iverson would take over a game, you'd be like, oh my God, like he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
Or just like when Peter Forsberg was on the Flyers, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you could create space, it's like that level of just like, wow, this guy is so big and so fast that he can, even when he gets an extra 6 yards, he'll juke 3 guys to get 6 yards, and it's really special.
He'll drag you too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, man. So we got something special going on. I'm really excited. But, yeah, I understand Eddie's game ball is to Hassan Reddick. My game ball, my Batman of the week is Miles Sanders. Let us know in the comments who you think was the best player of the game. If it was someone different, or even some things that we might have missed about the Batman of the week that we gave. So, but let's transition, okay? Because I got to even flip. So what do I got?
Next segment.
I love it. I love these little. I love the segment. I love the wall that we got going on.
Yes.
So give me your grades. Let's get into the grades for the Eagles game against the Jaguars.
Offense for today, I give him a B+.
Okay.
Interception for a touchdown, first drive. It
Right.
happens. But everything else after that was good, but can't give him an A because of that. And there's turnover on downs. There's a couple things that didn't go well offensively today, but a lot of success though, but B+.
I'm going to give him an A, and I give him an A because of the game time recognition of what was going on. I think they were able to transition when the weather got uglier to a more running game, and they were able to perform when you lost 2 key players on the offensive line. So for that, and Devontae Smith, you're worried about him a little bit too. So it's almost like I'm giving them the A because they overcame the adversity. So that's an A for me. Great job, great win, and way to salt away the game at the end too, because you're able to hold the ball and keep it away from the Jaguars. So.
Milk clock.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get into the defense. What do you got for the defense?
A+. Defensive line, created pressure. There was good tackling out there in bad weather where your feet are not as good as in dry weather. Obviously, you're slipping all over the place. And great effort by the defense.
I'm going with an A. I give them an A because they were outstanding today. A lot of what you said as well. Just
Turnovers, causing turnovers, interceptions, the Bradbury interception.
And making a quarterback who looked like he was coming of age, not there yet, because there's one thing to be able to play at a high level and get the ball out of your hands, but when you're in Philadelphia, away, having everyone boo you, and on top of that, the wind is nasty, the weather is nasty, and you're going to have to run the ball a little more. I thought the Eagles were able to take advantage of that and make a rookie look like a rookie. And he's not a rookie anymore, that's true. But like he's got a little more seasoning before he reaches the elite levels. And I honestly think with Doug Peterson, he will.
The one thing I noticed with this game with Trevor Lawrence, considered to the other games he's played, is he wants to get the ball out quick. And he was getting the ball out quick. But first of all, it was raining. The receivers weren't getting open as quick.
And you're missing Zay Jones.
And Zay Jones was out.
And he's been huge for them.
But the other thing is I thought we made him hold the ball longer, which let us get our defensive line for sacks and turnovers. So I thought him holding the ball was a key to the game too.
Yeah, and to be honest, the James Bradbury interception was outstanding. Amazing play, because I think that's one of the things where he locked on a little too long. He didn't look off. He looked at the receiver the whole time, and Bradbury almost baited him.
Oh,
you know,
he read it.
Yeah,
he read it.
He read
and
it
he
perfectly.
It looked like he was throwing to Bradbury. That's what it looked like.
No, it didn't. It looked like Bradbury like baited him, like he wanted to think that that guy was open.
No, but I
know?
understand that. But once Bradbury got there, it looked like he ran the pattern. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Bradbury was baiting him, but then once he threw it, Bradbury was like, got you.
Yeah, exactly. Came in the frame like out of nowhere, it seemed, and just amazing pick. And that's what good defenses do. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing complementary football all over the place of the defensive line helping the secondary, and the secondary helping the defensive line, because we do have significant talent on the back end too. I thought Chauncey Gardner played well too.
This team's going to fight for the number 1 seed in the NFC, I believe.
I think so.
I think it's going to come down to the Eagles, the Buccaneers, and the Packers.
Makes sense to me. So, and then let's get into coaching. What's the grade that you give the coaching?
A+. They adjusted the game plan when it was raining and went to last year's playbook, ran the football, ran it effectively. Jonathan Gannon got down 14-0.
Didn't panic. And 7 of those points weren't his fault.
No.
You know, the offense gave up a pick 6.
He did his job. They caused turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, forced fumbles, like sacks.
Yeah.
You can't ask any more from your defense.
And so I'm going to give him an A too. I'm going to give the coaching an A as well. And just because of a lot of what you said, but also because a lot of things can go wrong when the weather is a mess like that. And honestly, I don't think the Jaguars played horribly. It's just that the game and the weather led to some horrible plays. That's what happens in football. But we didn't have those horrible plays.
That's why football's played in weather, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Because football, with all these domes, people are like, let's play in a dome. No. NFL football is supposed to be played in outside, in snow, rain. And it's going to be good conditions sometimes, but sometimes it's going to be days like this.
Yeah.
And that's why the Eagles adjusted better than the Jaguars. That's why the Eagles won.
Yeah, exactly. And they're built to be able to win differently. So, like, everyone's kind of learning that Miles Sanders is underrated and everything else. But the coaching, I thought, was really good on both sides. I thought the play calling was well. I thought there was good adjustments when the weather got nastier. I thought, again, Edwards played great on defense. I thought Gannon caught a good game on defense. I thought he rattled him a little bit with Lawrence, and we got a lot of turnovers, which led to a lot of points. So if you check that for me, offense A, defense A, coaching A. What's that average? It's a 4.0 average. And what are the Eagles? They're 4-0. So I don't think it's a coincidence.
One last point. Trey Sermon got in the game today at running back. Way to not fumble. You got yards, didn't fumble, didn't affect the game.
Yeah.
Just did your job.
Great
job.
And the special teams. I mean, we're still not getting the great returns out of Covey, but at the same time, we're not getting the big mistakes.
And he made great decisions sometimes, just saying, I'm not going to catch this, get away from it.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and it was pretty wild with Jake Elliott getting slammed into on the special teams, and then we take the points off the board. We scored a touchdown after that, and he was able to still kick. So props to him.
Just got to hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think
because he's going to be sore a little bit.
Yeah. I think hopefully he'll be in the ice bath and he'll be okay. So. But great grades. That's the kind of grades you get after a tough, gritty win, after over an underrated team, to be honest. I think the Jaguars are going to win at least 7 games.
No, I think the Jaguars are going to win the division.
So that's it. But let's get into the next segment. And what do we like? Drama Queen. I love the Drama Queen segment. There's a lot to talk about. If I had to pick a drama queen for the game, I mean, I would think. See, that's the thing. You can't even pick like the Jaguars because I think they were classy in defeat. You know,
not the one fan. That's my drama.
Yeah,
queen.
That's a great drama queen.
At the CBS shot to the fan in the stands, and after the fumble, after the Eagles turned the ball over on 4th down. And then the first play in the next drive or the last drive for the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence fumbles. We get the ball back. They shoot to the Jaguars fan in the stands, and he's like, pouting
Yeah,
that was the drama queen.
He was
of the day.
throwing a fit.
Yeah, he threw a fit. If his family's watching, they would be like, "Look, that's him." Like
I love the fact that the cameramen
caught that.
Yes, number one, they caught that. Number one, they look for that. They look for the fans who are blowing a gasket, losing their mind.
Yeah, let's
or
go.
melting
Let's
down.
go to the meltdown fan.
The meltdown cam. Let's go to the meltdown cam to see which fan is completely melting down over a terrible decision.
He was like, "We have no timeouts left."
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost. The game's over.
Oh, that was a classic. And if we go on previous NFL, the drama queen might have to be Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, yeah, from a league from last
Bro.
season. Yeah.
Bro, I mean, is he walking CTE? I mean, he's hurting the league with his antics, bro.
See what he did over the weekend?
Of course. What do you think?
Yeah.
You think I'm bringing him up because he's getting latched onto another roster? He's done, bro.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to take my pants off in the pool.
He's making terrible decisions.
Yeah.
He's walking CTE. Everyone's like, it's sad. You know, I don't think people are looking at it and being like, you know, he's purposely being an asshole. I think people are being like, he got hit in the head too many times.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's obvious that he's got issues, bro.
Yeah.
But that's drama he just did.
NFL,
he made the headlines for all the wrong reasons, bro, and that is heavy
NFL
drama.
executives are like, we don't want that in our organization. He got signed so many times, though.
He had a ton of chances.
Yeah.
But, I mean, taking the pads off, he never did crazy behavior like taking the pads off before.
Yeah.
And he took the pads off this time. Last year. And then it's like, he's done. And now this, he follows it up with this, and that's just nuts too. But all right, do we know who won? What do we got? Can you read that?
Guess the score.
Guess the score. So every week, for those who aren't familiar with Broad Street Misery, and thank you for joining us as we recap the game. We recap every game. We start a half hour after the game's over. We might do some changes if it's a night game or things like that, but generally for 1 o'clock games, we will be on at 4:30, letting you know the breakdown, letting you know our Batman player of the game, giving you the Guess the Score winner as well. The Guess the Score, we asked all of our fans to guess the score of the game, and the winner will get general prizes that we have from our sponsors and things of that nature. So, can you read that? Because my eyes are terrible.
If I can see this correctly, this is Ryan McGuire who's won Guess the Score 27-22. He guessed, so he was.
That is close. That is close. Very close. Now, to win Guess the Score, you have to be the closest one. If you don't get it exactly. So don't be all salty.
The best guys I love are the ones that guess it
after the game. There will always be those guys who guess at 4:30 after the game's over.
I was right on.
Yeah, look at this, sneak that in, and we love our fans. So I don't hate you for it, but. Yeah, it's not.
I think it's funny, actually.
It is funny.
Yeah,
it is.
I guessed right.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, we see the timestamp.
Yeah, it's timestamp. It's obviously timestamps. Oh man, but we're just having so much fun because look at the team. You're so excited about them. I mean, how could you not? We're going to Arizona, and then guess what? After Arizona. Dallas week.
Sunday night football.
Dallas week. So, I mean, yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Every week it's better. They're winning every week. When the Eagles are winning every week, everybody's happy in the city.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's all I got.
So I got.
Hell of a game, hell of a win. Love the team. Let us know what you guys think. It needs to be improved. What do you think about the team? And we'll see you next week. Love it.
See you next week.